Hi guys, Joseph here from Intellect Finance. Welcome back. If this is the first time to this channel, it's great having you join us. Today we have Omar from St. George Bank joining us to talk about some of the great products St. George has to offer, which I believe can benefit you. Omar, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Have a seat.
Thanks, mate.
Omar, the reason I got you in today was to talk about some of the St. George products and why people should be using St. George. But first of all, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, Joe, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Omar. I've been with the best bank ever, St. George, for the last 8 years. I first started in the mobile lending space, and then I transitioned into the broker space. And I can honestly say this is the best industry I've ever worked with brokers like you. I absolutely love what I do as a BDM.
You're actually inspirational as a BDM because nobody texts messages at 5 in the morning. And only Omar will send a text message telling us about an update to St. George's policies at 5 in the morning.
Well, mate, I love what I do and I hope that translates with everything that I do with you guys.
All right, tell us about first home buyers first, St. George. What can you do for first home buyers?
Well, with first home buyers, I think with St. George, one thing that we are on the first home guarantee scheme with the government where customers come in with a minimum deposit. But one big niche that we have at St. George is our family guarantor or guarantee product, or people used to call it family pledge.
So what you're meaning to say is that with the family guarantee scheme, no deposit is required by the client. They can totally rely on their parents' or siblings' security, and so that we can finance the full amount of the purchase.
That's right, so the purchase and the stamp duty. So it allows them to get into the market sooner, to either buy their first owner-occupied or investment property. So
because it's hard enough to save for a deposit, but if they can still buy a property if they don't have a deposit and they've got parents or siblings to support them.
Absolutely, and that's why everyone loves St. George, mate, because we're here to help everyone.
All right, in the event that people don't have or do have a deposit and don't have someone to guarantee them, so you got that 5% first home deposit scheme
under the government guarantee scheme. Yep.
And also you guys are pretty good with nurses and doctors.
Mate, we love everyone, but one thing that we do very well is our Medico LMI waivers. So we kind of bunch them up into two categories. You've got your group A and your group Bs. So group A, for example, a doctor, we will allow them to buy up to 95% with no LMI or lender's mortgage insurance. And your group B, which for example, you have your midwives and registered nurses, up to 90% with no lender's mortgage insurance. So that's across refinances, purchases, anything and everything.
Also, because these nurses have a lot of overtime.
So with Group B, with your registered nurses, and that's something that we love, that we got a lot of people into home ownership with this new policy that we had. A lot of these people have a lot of overtime and allowances that we actually accept as well. So that will also assist with serviceability.
Because a lot of other banks do discount their overtimes and allowances, whereas you guys use 100% of it.
Yes, if you're a frontline registered nurse, we can actually look at considering 100% of your income.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And Joe, another product that we also have is, yes, we can waive the lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI, as we call it, for your Medico customers. We also have one for your industry specialization employees, which is more in the finance and legal sector. So very similar policy, up to 90% no LMI. There is a minimum income threshold, but again, it allows customers to refinance or purchase up to 90% with no LMI.
So just for the people that don't know, LMI is lender's mortgage insurance. So the bank will lend you 80% of the valuation of the property. If you don't have that 20% deposit, then you pay a premium, a lender's mortgage insurance. That's added onto the loan, and it's the repayments are done over 30 years.
In terms of policy, one of our favorite policies is something called Fast Track. Now, if you ask any broker out there, they love St. George for this policy. So if you're self-employed under any entity, a sole trader, a company, a partnership, or a trust, and you have an ABN trading for 2 full financial years, we can just accept your 2 notice of assessments as income. And the caveat there, just maximum LVO is 80%. But the beauty of that, it's a simple self-employed policy, 2 NOAs, and that's it. Of course, the policy applies in the background, but it means less documents and a quicker approval as well.
So no financials, no tax returns, just the 2 notice of assessments, and it's under the Fast Track.
Under the Fast Track, easy, simple, in and out, and that's what we love at St. George.
Beautiful.
And another one that we also have is a pure 1 year in isolation policy. We appreciate that financials and companies change all the time, And we now have a policy where we can accept pure 1 year in isolation, which also makes an easier approval.
Yeah, that's a great benefit for our self-employed clients.
Well, Joe, as banks and BDMs, we hear your feedback and you said you want things to be easier and simpler. So we've listened and we've delivered.
And that's what we love about you, Omar.
That's what we love about St. George.
Omar, what about clients that want to relocate or upsize their home or downsize their home? What products have you got for them?
Well, you said relocate, and we have a product called a relocation loan, or as we used to call it, some people call it a bridging loan.
I still call it a bridging loan.
Well, basically, all it is, Joe, is we understand people's lives change all the time, right? And as a bank, we want to be there from start to finish to help them out. So especially with customers who want to upsize or downsize or relocate, we have this option where you buy now and sell later. So the bank will actually finance that period where you transition. And it's an awesome option for people who are families getting bigger, families getting smaller, or they're going into that mature life stage, and they think it's time to change our home. So that option allows them to buy now, sell later, we'll finance the difference. Once they sell their existing property, they can sell their bridging loan and they can live happy.
So they can buy that house that they need to buy before selling the house that they're currently in now.
That's exactly right.
You guys service it on the end debt.
Correct.
So they only have to have the capacity to borrow after they've, if we calculate the figures, after they've sold their house, and that is their debt's going to be at the end.
So there's, with a relocation or bridging loan, there's an end debt and a no end debt. So sometimes customers will have enough equity in their property where they don't need a residual loan. However, if there is a residual loan, as you said, we only need to service that loan. And if they can service that loan, green light, pass go and enjoy.
Just to confirm, Omar, so there's two options. There's an end debt or no end debt.
Correct. So it just depends. Normally with a no end debt, there's normally a lot of equity in the existing property. They actually don't need an end debt to buy their new property. However, if they do need lending, there is the option to have an end debt. So as I said, no matter what age or what stage, St. George is here to help.
All right, Omar, for our property investors, the specialized property investors, I mean, they could own a property jointly with somebody else, and it's affecting their borrowing capacity. St. George has a little niche there. Can you explain that to our clients?
Not a little niche, the best niche.
It's the best niche, the best niche.
Basically, it's called the apportioning. Okay, so I'll give you a perfect example. Omar and Joe have a joint loan together. Now Joe says, I want to buy a property in my own name. What St. George will actually recognize is there's only two people on the loan with Joe and Omar. So what we can do is be like, Joe, for your serviceability, because it's 50-50, we're just going to take half of the loan you have with Omar. And in most cases, that normally improves serviceability.
It does, yeah.
And you can also do that with a spouse. So with a spouse, it's based on the income in the household. So we just look at the income percentage, and then we apportion the debt that they have based on the income in the household. So it's a really, really good option where customers are looking to borrow that little bit more.
Omar, what about clients looking to refinance, consolidate debt, or maybe cash out some money? What can you do for them?
I think what I love about St. George is if it fits a customer's needs and objectives, we're going to support them, right? So if a customer's refinancing, looking to cash out to renovate their home, invest in some shares or invest in property in the future, buy a new car, do some landscaping, we recognize that. So if there's enough equity in their property, we can refinance them, cash them out. If they have a few credit cards or loans, we can also consolidate that into a home loan. Now, the benefit of that is normally it's a lower rate, and it allows the customer to have one repayment if they're looking to have everything under the one bank, we're the bank to do that.
Yeah, because with multiple repayments from different personal loans, credit cards, whatever, it's a lot simpler just to have one repayment with one institution.
Absolutely.
Omar, St. George has a lot of great products to offer. We could spend all day talking about them, but I know you're busy. Thank you very much for your time.
And Joe, thank you for working with us in St. George to help your customers realize their home loan dreams.
Well, it was great working with you, Omar.
Thank you as always, Joe.
What a great chat with Omar from St. George Bank. There was a lot of information across all industries, from your first home buyers to self-employed people. If you would like any more detailed information to confirm if you're eligible, I will leave a link below, and we look forward to assisting you with any of your needs. That's the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Omar, thank you for coming.
Good to be here, Joe. Thanks for having me, mate.
It's great having you. Well, it's been a while. We've been trying to book this
Well,
interview.
it's been a while. Alhamdulillah, it's been a while. Well, it's been a while. Shabil, get the show.
Yeah.
No, I'll let him win.
Look at his guns, man.